Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into Canada's open work permit changes for 2025. What's new, who is affected, and how to use this information if you're planning to move or apply. Let's start at the beginning. What is an open work permit? An open work permit, often called OWP, lets you work in Canada for almost any employer without needing a specific job offer tied to your permit. You don't have to get a labor market impact assessment, LMIA, either, in many cases. That flexibility is one of its biggest attractions. Before 2025, many spouses and dependent children of foreign workers or international students could apply for open work permits. That meant families could move together, and every adult in the family could potentially work somewhere. But as of January 21, 2025, Canada changed its rules for open work permits, especially for family members like spouses and kids. These new rules are more restrictive. Some people who used to be eligible may no longer qualify. Why did Canada do this? The government wants to balance immigration, manage growth in the number of temporary residents, and ensure that work permits align more closely with labor market needs. These adjustments are part of a broader tightening of immigration and study permit rules. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what's changed, who is still eligible, how to apply under the new rules, and important tips to avoid rejections. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap. So let's move on to Section 2. What's changed under the new rules? Okay, now let's break down what changed on January 21, 2025, and what the new eligibility rules look like. Family open work permits, spouses and children. Before, many spouses of foreign workers or students could apply for open work permits regardless of the worker's or student's job type. Many dependent children, usually adult children, could also be eligible. But now, eligibility is limited. Spouses, common law partners, can still apply, but only in certain conditions. If the principal applicant is a student, the student must be in a master's program of at least 16 months, or a doctoral program, or in specific eligible professional programs, medicine, law, engineering, nursing, etc. If the principal is a foreign worker, that worker must be in a Tier 0 or 1 occupation, high-skill roles, or in select Tier 2 or Tier 3 occupations that are in sectors facing labor shortages, e.g. healthcare, construction, natural resources. Also, at the time the spouse applies, the foreign worker's permit must have at least 16 months remaining in validity. What about dependent children? Under the new rules, dependent children of foreign workers are no longer eligible for open work permits in most cases. There is a small exception for a dependent child of a dependent child, think of grandchildren, but only under strict criteria. What stays the same? Exceptions. It's not all cuts. Some rules remain. If your open work permit was approved before January 21, 2025, and it hasn't expired, it stays valid through its original expiry. Spouses of workers under free trade agreement work permits, for example under trade treaties, are not affected by the new restrictions. Spouses or family members who are transitioning to permanent residence retain eligibility under older rules, even if their partner's job is outside the new criteria. Why these sectors and restrictions? The intention is to prioritize high-skill sectors, tighten eligibility, reduce the number of dependents with open work permits, and make sure that work permits serve Canada's labor needs. Some critics warn these changes may hurt women's self-sufficiency and family stability, as many spouses used open permits to support their family financially. Now that we've covered what changed, let's focus on who is still eligible under the 2025 rules and how to check if you qualify. 1. Spouses of foreign workers meeting the criteria. You qualify if your spouse or partner's job is in Tier 0 or Tier 1. Or their job is in a select Tier 2 or Tier 3 in sectors like healthcare, construction, natural resources, etc. At the time you apply, your spouse's work permit must have at least 16 months of validity left. Note, if your spouse is working under a free trade agreement permit, then these restrictions don't apply. You may still qualify regardless of tier level. 2. Spouses of international students. You qualify if your spouse or partner is enrolled in a master's program that is at least 16 months long or a doctoral program, or in some eligible professional programs, medicine, law, engineering, etc., as defined by IRCC. 3. People in other categories. Post-graduation work permit, PGWP holders, recent graduates of Canadian designated institutions may qualify under separate rules. Applicants transitioning to permanent residence. If you've applied for PR and are waiting, you may be eligible for a bridging open work permit. Refugees, protected persons, asylum claimants. In some cases, they may also get open work permits. International Experience Canada, IEC, participants or other mobility programs where eligible. 4. Who is not eligible? Dependent children of foreign workers generally. Spouses of workers whose occupations do not meet Tier 01 or the selected Tier 2-3 list. Spouses of students in shorter programs, diploma-only or certificate-only programs, unless they're in eligible professional fields. Anyone whose spouse's permit doesn't have sufficient remaining validity. In this final section, let's go through how to apply, what documents to prepare, common mistakes, and tips to improve success. A. How to apply it step by step. 1. Check eligibility carefully under the new 2025 criteria. 2. Prepare your documents. Passport, proof of relationship, marriage or common law documents, your spouse's work permit or study permit, and proof of their job or enrollment, proof that permit is valid, 16 months left. 3. Fill out the IRCC online application form for an open work permit. 4. Pay fees, work permit fee, plus open work permit holder fee. 5. Submit the application and biometric information if required. 6. Wait for IRCC to process and respond. The processing times may vary based on where you apply and complexity. IRCC updates typical processing times on their website. B. Tips to increase your chances. Make sure your spouse's job is clearly within Tier 0 or 1 or the selected Tier 2-3 list. Provide evidence, job title, NOC code, detailed job description. Ensure your spouse's permit has at least 16 months of validity at application time. Use strong supporting documents, marriage certificate, evidence of cohabitation or shared finances. Apply earlier rather than later. Don't let your spouse's permit fall in validity. If you had an open work permit approved under previous rules, you may still renew under older rules if application is timely. See common pitfalls and warnings. Applying while the spouse's permit has less than 16 months left. Rejection. Using vague or incomplete job descriptions that don't reflect the required tier level. Relying on programs or jobs not in the eligible sectors. Missing deadlines or document errors. Assuming the old rules still apply, always check current IRCC policies. D. Broader changes and related policies. The post-graduation work permit rules also received updates in 2025. More flexible fields of study were added. Some restrictions were removed. Canada has extended some policies to help provincial nominee candidates obtain open work permits for longer periods. Since May 2025, in certain situations, foreign workers with closed permits can change employers or occupations before approval of a new permit under a temporary policy. Thanks for watching, and if you are new here, please subscribe to my channel as we are determined to deliver the most relevant and valuable updates. See you in my next video.